I just tried Creature Shock, and frankly, I just don't get it. Is this supposed to be fun?
Presumably.
You play a lot more action games than I do. What do you think?
If Creature Shock were a living organism, I'd put it to a slow and agonizing death. It's rare for me to actually hate a game, but that's about the only socially acceptable word for how I feel about this shameful waste of space.
Creature Shock's premise is nothing more than the standard disposable dribble. Overpopulation has forced mankind to seek other quarters. The spaceship Amazon is launched to search the solar system for a viable site for a colony.
When it approaches the moons of Saturn, the Amazon is attacked and destroyed by a huge alien presence. Now it's up to you to board the alien ship and kill everything. If it were any more original, you might actually have to think.
Creature Shock's opening animation is actually very good, didn't you think?
Yeah, I did. The animation is very smooth, and the human character is very lifelike. I wish they'd stuck with what they could do well and made this turkey a movie instead of a half-baked attempt at a game.
What knocked me out were the captain's realistic facial expressions. Then the game started, and I almost fell asleep.
From the impressive intro, Creature Shock jumps into one of the most shameful game sequences I've ever experienced. As you fly towards the alien ship, you must fight off hordes of nasties. You play with a mouse, and the up and down controls are flipped like in a flight sim.
With that control scheme, the game is almost impossible to control. It's so counterintuitive it boggles my mind. I can't believe anyone actually playtested this part of the game. Could anyone actually enjoy this?
If they do, they obviously have severe emotional disturbances and should be locked away from society.
Once you land on the spaceship,
If you're masochistic enough to stick with this worthless game that long.
you go on to a simple shootout. The game area is about 1.5 screens wide, so you'll scroll back and forth and shoot the aliens. Oh,
It's like playing a shooting gallery game where the targets barely move and occasionally shoot back. When I played it, I just kept asking myself, why?
After that, you get to explore the alien ship by clicking on movement paths with the mouse. When an alien is near, you stop moving and fight it by aiming with the mouse cursor and shooting.
This is as fun as the game gets, which is saying next to nothing. You can block attacks by activating a shield with the right mouse button, and that's it. You only get to fire about 1 shot per second. It's bad.
The aliens are very nice looking, but the graphic amenities can't hide the fact that there simply isn't a fun or interesting game to be found anywhere on Creature Shock's 2 CDs. It's utterly boring.
The game elements sound like they could be good. Shooting at aliens can be fun. But Creature Shock ranks a big stinking 0 on the excitement scale. I kept asking myself, yeah, okay, what's next? But there wasn't anything.
Creature Shock is one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life, and as you can imagine, that's up against some pretty stiff competition. The graphics are good, but apart from that, it's mindless, tedious, and about as much fun as watching ink dry. Avoid it like the plague.
I'm still in shock that a reputable company like Virgin would release such god-awful dreck as this. Creature Shock is nothing more than an insult to the gaming public. I can't imagine anyone getting the slightest amount of pleasure from playing it. Worthless, worthless, worthless.